Earlier in 2020, everyone was talking about the return of one specific emo band. All the while, another band in the same vein has been touring and making music consistently for years. The Used are a band who have kept a die-hard fanbase for a long time. On their 8th studio album, Heartwork, it might be another case of getting our heartstrings tugged while getting screamed at. It's really true that the Used have consistently been around since they hit the scene hard in the mid-2000s. You rarely hear a ton of buzz about the band anymore though, but they've been on huge tours and festivals over the years. McCracken and company are still doing their thing. Produced by John Feldman, Heartwork is 46 minutes across 16 tracks including a few interludes, with the longest song running just over 4 minutes. It's quick blasts of rhythm and energy, and that's what the Used is best at. There are tons of literary mentions through the album, from short stories, authors, novels, etc. It's clear that there are specific sources that helped fuel some of the writing material in Heartwork, and I'm all for using classics to help spark something new. In the press release for the new album, Heartwork is described, "The new album plays on the emotions, the sincerity, and the vulnerability of the first record and In Love and Death, with a little bit of the flair from Lies for the Liars." This was my first full listen to an album by The Used in many years, so I was excited to hear what the band was capable of in 2020, but after I was done, I admit I was surprised at everything I heard. The first single came back in December of last year with Blow Me, featuring Jason Alon Butler. I'm a sucker for anything with Jason, so adding him to a strong rhythm song with a hooky chorus made me happy. I admit the lyrics are pretty dark and it's hard to really be happy when singing some of this out loud, but let's be honest, that's the Used bread and butter. The second single is the opening track, Paradise Lost, which I think is a solid enough opener. Bert gives a good performance in the verses, and it's another hooky chorus that stands out, including the lyric lines. Not crazy about the bridge, but the song works well as a whole. Cathedral Bell came out the week of album release and has a calm electronic beat. Definitely a different style from the previous two singles. It's simple in the writing, and I could see diehard post-hardcore and original fans not loving it, but I think it's okay for what it is. The first two singles definitely stand out as solid rock tracks that can catch an ear through radio play, but it's actually Cathedral Bell that shares more similarities to other songs on the album. The Used did not stick to one lane here, as they covered quite a bit of ground on Heartwork. Big Wannabe is the third track and is a stark difference from the style of Blow Me and Paradise Lost. It's more on the digital side, and Bert sounds a bit forced here. There's a good line to sing along with in I Wanna Be Big, but the harsh digital percussion is a bit rough. Bloody Nose feels like a hybrid between older and later songs from the Used, and Bert sounds much better here. The drum work from Dan Whitesides has a good roll and is prominent through the track. The strings that build to a quick breakdown work, and this is a good album inclusion. Wow, I Hate This Song, which is a great song title for sure, opens with some electronic key effects and goes for a big booming sound with cymbal bashing and slow one syllable at a time vocal sections. There are nice moments, but in 3 minutes the song sounds like it's trying to accomplish 3 different styles, all in different sections, and it doesn't come off well, along with an awkward fade out. 1984 Infinite Jest feels like mid-2000s emo style from the opening. It starts with a good flow, but then cuts to a quiet, ignorant bliss segment, and it kills the momentum hard. This had big potential, but it's that start-stop-start that dooms the song. Gravity's Rainbow, the longest track on the album, starts with heavy strings and kicks in a great thematic, and this could be a decent hidden gem track for the Used. It's reminiscent of past albums while also sounding like it belongs in 2020. I admit I wish there was more of a payoff, as it feels like such a strong build to just a repeated chorus, but this does work. Clean Cut Heels has a thick digital warble beat and is extremely electronic. It goes back to my point of the radio singles being quite different from most of Heartwork. Bert's vocal tracks sound solid and the lyrics flow well. The beat is smooth, and even though it's not exactly a rock ballad or rock anything, it's a good groove. After the spoken word title track interlude comes The Lighthouse, featuring Mark Hoppus. This song has a great guitar melody and Bert's singing is clean. When Mark comes in, there becomes a strong dynamic between the two. I Can Be Your Lighthouse is a great line. The song goes by fast at under 3 minutes, but it leaves a good impression. Obvious Blase, featuring Travis Barker, comes next, which is much more of the upbeat rock vibe with dour lyrics that feel so much more alive and energetic than several previous tracks. The drum work really kicks in fast, but it's not overwhelming, where I think it was the right direction instead of going all out on volume and making sure the song still flows. This is a fun one. The Lottery, featuring Caleb Shomo of Beartooth, rolls in as the last guest appearance, and I see this being a concert staple in the near future. Even with a crazy, chaotic breakdown, Caleb comes in like a house of fire, and it's the vocalist that shine on this song. Darkness Bleeds is several speeds and has a lot of great elements, but it's hard to really get settled into one style because so much happens. This song is all over the map across 4 minutes and hard to describe at points. Not terrible, but could have done with a bit more focus. Finally, To Feel Something is a decent closer with guitar plucks to capitalize on the heartstring tugging. It ends an album filled with emotional frustration while at the same time getting more chaotic and frustrated in the music as the volume kicks in just a little and everything distorts out. It's only 46 minutes, but it's a lot to take in. I do feel some of the fat could have been trimmed, and the album does suffer tonal whiplash and a bit of that stop-start syndrome, especially when you're trying to play through the entire album all in one listen. But it's still good. The high points ring out, the vocal hooks and drumming shine, and the guest appearances all do a good job of adding something. Again, it's a lot, but there are moments worth seeking out here. Overall, Heartwork adds to a long-running discography of sing-along lines and heavy rhythms with some surprises thrown in. Whether it's the electronic style or the original emo sound that made them famous, you get shades of both here. If 2020 is going to have more influence of emo bands, the Used did well in making sure their voices were heard. What did you think of Heartwork? Leave a comment below and vote in the info card in the top right corner of the video. Big thanks to my patrons and a special thanks to Brandon Barenfeld, I Love Metal, and Dom Smith. You too can help support Rocked and have a say in upcoming videos by supporting Rocked on Patreon. Just $2 a month goes a long way and you can see videos early. Click for more info in the description and in the YouTube cards. Please subscribe to stay notified on upcoming videos. You can check out my concert photography on Instagram and you can keep up to date with Rocked on Facebook and Twitter.